What's going on, everyone? Good morning and welcome to Investing Bros. We've got a good amount to talk about today because the last 3 days have been a little bit of a damper on the crypto space. It's causing everyone to question, can we still find any good investments? Is the market top in for this pre-halving bull run, or are we seeing further room to the upside? Today, I want to talk to you about some altcoins that I'm looking at that even if there's still a dip, they still look like good buying opportunities, and I'm going to show you why I believe that is the case. But before we jump on in, make sure you strap in, watch the entire video. I'm going to explain to you why these 4 altcoins could be good investments even for the long run, and also what you want to look for when you're choosing what altcoins, what cryptos, when you want to invest in a project. I'm going to show you a couple tricks that you could use for yourself. Now, let's go ahead and kind of lay the groundwork. Let's set the table. Let's talk about Bitcoin here for a second. Now, Bitcoin is a little bit confusing right here. Bitcoin has dropped back down after touching up here close to $45,000. Like I said, within the last 3 days, we have dropped down, and we're currently kind of working on bouncing off of a former resistance level, turning it into support. This has now held up several times, but I will say, I'm going to make a pitch here for why we could end up moving to the downside right here. If you look at this most recent action within the last couple of days, this is on the 4-hour chart, we're consistently setting kind of this downtrend. I'll even go ahead and make a little trend line for you right here. We're going to cut through some of those wicks. As a whole, though, we are not setting higher highs in this short timeline. You can see it a little bit better when I go to the hourly chart. I'll kind of fix this up just a little bit right there. Yeah, let's go ahead and go with that. Even though we have some breakthroughs right there, as a whole, this trend of resistance is continuing. Now, we do have a little bit of a rising support level with this blue line as well. But as most of you know, there's been a lot of conversation more recently about this chart right here. This is the Bitcoin CME futures chart. And of course, there is a big gap. If we go back out to the daily chart, there's a big gap that runs all the way down here to $39,000, almost $200. So the question at this point is, can Bitcoin hold up this support line, or will it end up losing it, falling back down to this lower level of our long-term golden pocket, coming back down potentially to this white line, a former support line of this channel, and maybe finding support right there? And then the question is, do we continue to bounce there and maybe make a move back to the upside? Because even though right now there's a lot of question marks about move to the downside, there's still a lot of weight kind of pulling the prices of Bitcoin, expecting the price of Bitcoin to make a shot back up here towards $48,000, the high of March of 2022, potentially even still make a push into the 50K region. And honestly, until we get some new update about the ETFs, which has been the main driver of this entire rally, you kind of got to sit here and wonder, why would we crash? Why would we go down and start setting new lows on Bitcoin until we hear some concrete news about the ETFs? Either A, are they going to finally approve them, and maybe we get one more good short pump for a couple of hours or maybe a day or so before a dip comes, or is there going to be a denial on January 10th, in which case that could be a catalyst to push price back to the downside. I do want to show you guys, before you freak out though, let's pretend I had a crystal ball and I could tell you with confidence we are going to make a move back down here towards $39,000. You might be asking, Tim, does that mean for sure we are going to be crashing through that level and moving back down towards 30? It doesn't necessarily mean it. Why is that? Well, remember when we've compared to previous pre-halving bull cycles, bull runs, we had a similar situation back here in June of 2019. I've talked about this a couple times now, but in case this is the first video you're watching, which by the way, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We cover these markets every single day. You can see back in 2019, during this huge 300% rally on Bitcoin, 340 I believe, we had a 20% pullback right there, and then we had another 18% pullback right here. A lot of people probably thought that was the top. They probably thought, okay, it's time to get out, liquidate everything, and we're going to drop back down. But the truth is, we would go on to rally another 80% after this. I'm not predicting we're about to rally 80%, 86%, but I am saying these pullbacks are pretty normal. And let's come back over here and let's kind of put this into perspective, because yes, we are dropping, but how much are we dropping? The truth is, the biggest drop we've had up to this point was right here back a couple weeks ago. We dropped 8 and almost 0.5%. And this recent drop, we have dropped somewhere at about let's see here, about 10%, and a move to 39, back to that white line, will be a drop of 13%. That's not even as large as what we had back in 2019, and yet we would still be in a position when you're looking at this from a macro perspective. Yes, we're pulling back, but if we end here at 39,000, the last bottom, the last low, you can make an argument for this one right here at 37.6, or you can make a good argument for it to be down here towards 35.7. What does that mean? We would need to drop below these levels to say that we're setting new lower lows and canceling out this bull trend. So for the moment, while I'm short term, meaning the next couple of days kind of not necessarily optimistic, kind of in a place where I'm not really wanting to enter a long or a short right now because we could drop a little bit lower, I'm still optimistic that even if we make a move all the way down to 39,000, and I'll show you in a little bit later in this video why that move could happen, I'm still optimistic about a continual push up here closer to 50,000, if not topping out right here closer towards 48. Now, we're going to pause right there. Go ahead. If you've enjoyed the video so far, if you're feeling like this is helping you understand the markets better, smash that like button and hit that subscribe button if you have not done it already. What does this mean for altcoins? Because a lot of you guys are clicking on this video saying, hey, Tim, what are these altcoins you are talking about? Well, let me break down a criteria for you that I really like to use to know if a coin is good at investing. And that is by coming out here to a more macro timeline. And we're going to go look at Fibonacci levels. Now, this currently is a logarithmic chart. So it's not necessarily doing it in price action one-to-one. It's kind of following a log curve. And I'm not going to explain all what that means. It just means you don't have to see an exact one-to-one move. It's making everything logarithmic so you can see it on a more scalable solution. When you move it to linear, it looks a lot more flat. Like, for example, if I were to go out to a long time frame, let's go here with Bitcoin. If I were to go out to a long time frame, linear charts look like this. See how there's just flat action for a long time, then all of a sudden explosion. Log charts, they make things a lot more exciting so you can see a lot more movement comparatively to where the price action is. But coming back to what I was kind of discussing here, let's go back over here and let's go back to my other chart. Let's look right here. You guys can see on the logarithmic chart, Bitcoin has now climbed above the golden pocket and is making its way toward the platinum pocket on log. When it comes to linear, this shifts everything. We've just recently broke through the 0.5 level. That was the halfway point. And now we're making a move back up here. That's not even quite the halfway point, but we're making a move back up here towards the golden pocket. Now, here's what I want to take a look at. Bitcoin, you can see historically, they make moves like this. They make moves up towards the golden pocket on the linear chart. When it comes to altcoins, they don't do it. So what is the level we're looking at to say, hey, is an altcoin overextended or not overextended? Let's take a look at Ethereum's chart. This is the linear chart for Ethereum. You can see that we've already made a push all the way up here to the 0.382 level. Not as high as Bitcoin, but for altcoins, that is a pretty high move. I'm going to show you a couple others, like, for example, Solana. Solana has made a move above its 0.236. Chainlink has made a move above its 0.236. AVAX has made a move right up to its 0.236. It's not a very high level, but I'm about to show you the four that I really like right now that are large cap altcoins that I think could be good investments, not only for the short term, but even for the long term. And I'm going to look at coins that have not made it all the way up to this point. And my reason for liking them is because, A, I believe that they could make pushes up to this 0.236 level themselves. And I'm not saying that these like Solana and Link and AVAX can't go higher, but I am going to make an argument, especially when you look at the logarithmic charts and these are hitting like golden pockets. I think that their room to move further to the upside is dwindling. I'm not saying that it's zero, but when I'm going to show you these other four altcoins, these ones are going to have higher potentials in the short term to make moves to the upside. And even if you just are a DCAer and you're saying, hey, Tim, what's the best bang for my buck right now? These four altcoins, in my opinion, are better investments than some of these more front runners like Solana, Link, and AVAX because they've had some phenomenal runs. Let's go back over to the linear chart. I'm going to show you the four. Now, one of them is not going to be a surprise to you guys. It is going to be Cardano. You guys, I've been banging the drums for Cardano for a while now, and there's a good reason why. This project is not dead. It is simply overextended. It's oversold at the moment. Look how we have not gotten anywhere close to that 0.236 on the linear Fibonacci levels. So that's one of my main reasons I like Cardano. You guys know I've talked about this. I believe it could make a move up towards 80 cents, if not push closer. You know, this was actually saying that 0.236 would be all the way up towards 90 cents. A little higher than what I've given it credit for, but you guys can see we have a lot more room to the upside. And then let's just say the tops are in, and I'm looking at a coin to buy right now for the next 2-3 years. Well, this is a better investment long term. It's more oversold in long term than some of these other ones we've taken a look at. So that's one reason why I do like Cardano, and I'm going to show you with the other four what we're kind of looking at with the same thing. Now, the next one on my list is going to be HBAR. Let's go take a look at the HBAR chart. It's more overextended than even Cardano is. And here's another criteria I'm going to go ahead and give to you that Cardano doesn't have. This doesn't work in Cardano's favor, but it will work in some of the coins that I'm going to list for these last three. Cardano has went ahead and set a new high for 2023, right? So we just came up here recently, hit almost 65 cents. That beat out even the August high of 2022, but definitely higher than anything else we've done in 2023. When we move down here to HBAR, HBAR not only is nowhere close to the 0.236 level, we have a high back in February all the way up here at 10 cents that we are nowhere close to. HBAR is overextended. Now, before I move on, before I keep going on and showing my last two coins I actually really like based off the charts, you might be saying, Tim, is there a reason why these charts are more overextended to the downside? Like, are these projects dead? That's something you need to answer for yourself. In my personal opinion, I still think HBAR has a bright future. I think that it will be used heavily. So if I think the project is not dead, if I think it has a future, if I think it will pick up adoption in the bull market, and I see these overextended price actions in technical analysis, that to me is a good investment opportunity for right now. That could change in the future, but the fact that these coins have not necessarily gotten crazy pumps, the fact that they are still solid projects, with more recent adoption, having more adoption stories, partnering with more companies, to me, I'm just looking at this and saying this is a great opportunity to invest. Let's move on to my last two, though. Here's another one that's picked up some steam more recently, and that would be DOT. Now, DOT, here we go. We're going to have both criteria come in right here. First of all, not anywhere close to our 0.236, all the way up here towards $16. We're hovering around $6.82, but we also have a high in February up here towards $8. We have not come back to match just yet. So it's fitting both of my criteria right there to say, hey, DOT could be not only a short-term good investment, but a long-term good one as well. Am I predicting that either of these coins are going to make it all the way up here and more than double in price in the next couple of weeks? That's not my prediction. I'm saying I do think, though, in the short term, in the long term, these could be better investments than some of these others. You're going to want to wait for significant pullbacks on these other coins, whereas DOT, HBAR, ADA, they might not get as significant pullbacks when that pullback eventually happens. My last coin that I'm looking at, Atom. Atom, again, fits both criteria. We're a little closer to that 0.236 than maybe the last two we just looked at, but you can see we have still fallen way short of it. That 0.236 is all the way up at 1538. We have peaked at 1243. We've also not beat out the February high we had back here at 1540. So to me, this is another one. Atom Cosmos. Is it a dead project? No, I don't believe it is. In fact, it has picked up momentum here more recently based off of some partnerships they've made, but it is still overextended to the downside. It is one that I think could be a very, very interesting one to pick up. Now, those are my four picks, but you might be wondering, Tim, what are some other secrets you're using when you're looking at how to invest, maybe even trade? If you guys are looking to trade some of these coins, heavily recommend Blowfin. I've been using it now for over a week. It is phenomenal. Check out that link down below. No VPN, no KYC. They are very trusted. They use some of the most trusted wallets in the world. They have over 270 pairs you can trade on. But if you're looking for good ways to trade, let me show you one of my tactics that I love to use, and that would be heat maps. Now, I'm going to show you this one right here. Hyperblock Capital is a paid version. I have a hookup over here. I do not have an affiliate link or anything for it. I actually don't even know the prices of this one. This is a paid one. It gives you slightly different information, but as a whole, you can take a look at a coin, you can take a look at a time frame, and you can see liquidation levels. You guys can see these different colors. Yellow is higher liquidation levels. So you can start to move down towards purple. That's really low. But this pretty much tells you where there are liquidations that could happen. Meaning, like for example, I'm looking at this one on Bitcoin. Let's see, this one would be, that is not, it says ADA. Even though it says Bitcoin up there, this is ADA. If we were to make it all the way up here, closer to 59 cents, there are a lot of shorts that would be liquidated. This could actually catapult the price probably closer up here towards 60 cents. Versus if we make a move down here towards 56 cents, there's some liquidations kind of sitting up right in here, that if we made a move there, that is where a lot of longs will be liquidated, and we could see the price crash even further. But I'm going to show you guys a paid version. This right here is on CoinGlass. So in case case you're wondering, this one you guys could get into right now. Just go to coinglass.com. I'm going to walk you through it so you guys can see it too. Just type in coinglass.com. You're going to go right here to liquidation, and you're going to go to liquidation heat map. This is this chart right here. You want to make sure you use symbol so you can go ahead and just zoom on in here and look at any coin. For example, this is the Bitcoin. You can use the 3-day, 24, 12-hour, 1 week. Sometimes I like to look at the 1 week to get a broader perspective of where the moves are going to be. You can see Bitcoin recently has taken out a lot of liquidity here on the weekly chart. There is still a little bit sitting down below us here towards 40,000, but honestly, it kind of drops right down here until it slows down. If we keep taking out all of these liquidations of long liquidations, we could find ourselves sitting here south of $40,000 before we want to make a move back up to the upside. If I were to zoom in and go to the 3 daily chart, for example, I do think we have some heavy liquidity that if the bulls get a rally, here you go, some more liquidity down here right above 40,000. If we get a rally here, we could exit a lot of shorts all the way up and head back above 43,000. In fact, when I even come down to the 24 hour, I think we're going to find that we have a lot of, well, let's say, yeah, 3 daily is the better one. You're going to see some liquidations coming all the way up here back towards these 45,000. But as a whole, I think you kind of slow down the momentum when you get here to 44 as a whole. So this is something you guys can use to look at entering trades. Again, you can do it with almost anything. XRP, you can come in here if you want to trade the XRP price. You can look for good liquidations. We've cleared out a lot of them. Looks like there's some liquidity up here towards 63 cents. You can look at a plethora of different coins, but that's just another way when you're entering the trading game, when you're looking for ways to enter into whether it be long-term trades or short-term scalp trades. Make sure you're continuing to watch the charts, paying attention to fundamentals, but also add this CoinGlass liquidation heat map to your trading game. It will change it so that you become more profitable day by day. But guys, that's all I have for you in this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something. If you did, go ahead and smash that like button and hit the subscribe button. We will see you guys later on today for our live show. T-Shroom's going live at 9 a.m. Then we have our live show together at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. With that said, though, you guys have a fantastic day. I'll see you in the next one.